Hello. This this is probably important, right? I think it's important to myself and to the switching on of Irish people's minds, right? So I'm going to use an example of many Irish people's inability to contain themselves and their emotions, even in situations where that is absolutely what is called for, right? And it is this inability or refusal to contain ourselves emotionally that allows us to be easily manipulated and hoodwinked all the time. And if you can control a person's emotions when you turn them on and off and dictate when they jump and to what they jump to, you can control and manipulate that people all day long, right? Up until the point where they get wide to themselves and go, oh yeah, I see how I'm being strung along there, right? So the case in point is Michele Keane. She has been up north talking to loyalists, right? And building bridges, mending fences, all that sort of stuff, right? None of that's their people's business. That's the Irish people's up north's business, right? Whatever peace or whatever bridges they want to build with those that they live with, right? It's not for me to say in Tipperary. I have no idea about it. I have no experience about it. It is not my life. It has not been my parents' or grandparents' lives, right? So I have no say in it, nor have I any moral leanings one way or the other, right? Only a human leaning of not wanting to see people destroy themselves or others needlessly, right? Whatever flag or label you want to put on that, I'm not interested, right? I'm not interested. So Michele Keane has invited loyalists down, right? Whatever you want to call them, loyalists down to march to the Dáil in the coming weeks. Okay, so a few ways of looking at this. One way is that Michele Keane is playing with fire, and she is bold enough, stupid enough to reignite things that she has absolutely no control over. She has no control over the outcome. She only has control over her choice, and her choice is to potentially lead to an outcome that she cannot contain or manage, right? There's that. That's an option. Second option, as many people are floating it, is that she is a plant, right? She is a weapon being used by the state, useful idiot or not, okay? Playing the fool or not. She is a weapon being used by the state to try and subvert the energy and the growing, blossoming force, right? That is beginning to catch flame, right, in Irish people. She's there to kind of derail that into something else, okay? So where does that leave us? It leaves us with, if she is so stupid, right, if it is the former and she's thick, why would you be associating with that? If she's thick enough and stupid enough to lead you into a situation, if you choose to follow her, right, to lead you into a situation where disaster could be, why would you follow that? Why would you have anything to do with that? And number two, I don't know which is worse, by the way, right? Number two, if she is a plant by the state and she is there to try and reignite flames and get people clashing and get a load of Irish people who have the fight in them and the anger in them and the desire and the willingness in them to go out and compete in battle, right? If she is setting the stage for these people to channel that anger and fury at something else, at the Dáil, right? At loyalists coming down to the Dáil, why would you fall for that? Why would you fall for that? Other than feeding your own ego and tending to your emotional overwhelm in the moment because it feels good, right? I would strongly suggest that if she's intent on doing this, that you recognize her either as a fool and stay away, or you recognize her as a plant of the state who is being used with the intention of getting a rise out of you, getting you arrested, right? Probably for some sectarian or terrorist law, right? You'll be charged with that outside the Dáil. hate crimes, the whole lot of it. You will be charged with that, regardless of whether you're the instigator or not. Does that mean that if there's a risk of arrest that you shouldn't engage in anything? No, absolutely it doesn't. Right? It means above all, break no law, hurt no other person, but don't fall for fools. And don't fall into the continuous trap that is laid for Irish people, right? Where they tug on your emotions, they tug on your racial heritage, and they lull you into a trap. And we walk into it all the time. All the time. Paddy fool, right? Who can't contain himself to see the long game. So what I would suggest to people, stay away from the fool or recognise it as a plant. It's one or the two at this stage, right? So, if she's going to do this, leave her off. Leave her off. Leave her arrive at the gates with her loyalists, and there's no one there. There's no one there. That keeps you safe, it keeps the people with you safe, it keeps your family safe from worrying about you getting arrested over some trap. Right? And it also reveals something to us. If she can march to the gates of the Dáil with loyalists when it's widely spread that this is going to happen, and there's no obstructions, right? There's no funneling in and bottlenecking in from the guards, right? If she's free rein to walk to the Dáil gates, what does that tell you? Because general, everyday Irish people, when they were up protesting in Dublin, they were denied that, right? The roads were barricaded off. They were denied it in that regard. Yes, they could have climbed over and proceeded. Yes, they could have. But we didn't, right? So I would suggest that we put our thinking caps on. We put our ego to the side, right? And resist the desire to bite on this hook. And resist the desire to say, I went up and stood face to face against them loyalists. Put that away. Put it away, right? Paddy, contain yourself. Contain yourself. Look at the long game. Look at how you're continuously hooked into this nonsense. Let the fool play the fool and let nobody be there to receive her. And then she will reveal herself for what she truly is. There is no other way around it, right? People won't listen to that. People will go up and they'll let their rage get the better of them and they'll do a whole lot of that and nothing will change. Only a few more people that could have been used and could have spent their life and energy in a more positive way for Irish people is now arrested and is doing 2 or 3 years, right, away from their families. I would strongly encourage people, resist the urge to bite on this hook.